Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for being a part of the Center for Newcomers and Shades of Africa. We're so excited to have you here. I'd like to start by a land acknowledgement, acknowledging that we are on the traditional territory of Treaty 7. That includes the Blackfoot, which is the Siksika, the Kainai, and the Piikani. Also the Stoney Nakoda, which includes our friends in the Chiniki, Bearspaw, and Morley First Nations. And of course, our closest to us is the Tsuut'ina Nation. Calgary is also home to Calgary is also home to Métis Region number 3. And of course, to everyone else, including all of us that have made Calgary our home now. It's so important for us to start with the land acknowledgement at the Center for Newcomers, because we all know that we are all stewards of the land that was given to us through much hardship from our community members that are from our Indigenous people. And as part of Truth and Reconciliation, it's extremely important for us to really acknowledge that, and especially for many newcomers, like in my own family background, coming from a colonial history, to be able to really speak to that and speak to some of the traumas and speak to some of the reconciliations happening in our own countries of our origin. With Shades of Africa, I'd like to invite you all to really think about that and think about the diaspora of the African subcontinent, and looking at what that looks like in terms of people's origin stories, in terms of your own past, your own presence, and how that coincides with our Indigenous communities and populations here. On behalf of our board, our volunteers, and all of our staff, I wish us all a wonderful conference where we get to grow, we get to learn, and in light of all of the things that are happening around the world, whether it's our pandemic, whether we are renewed in our thought and our processes around understanding more of Black Lives Matter and other anti-racism community initiatives, I think it's so important to have this conversation today centered in on our young people and really have an opportunity to learn and to listen. And with that, I have the great opportunity to introduce you to our VP strategy at the Center for Newcomers. His role encompasses everything from our outreach, much of our strategy, our research, our community engagement, and of course, leading our Real Me program, which is the program that is hosting the Shades of Africa today. It is my great honor and privilege to call this person my friend and also my colleague, Dr. Francis Boakye.
Thank you so much, Anila, for the introduction. Before I begin my opening remarks, I also want to thank all the staff members and the partners who did a great job of putting this conference together. In this time of COVID, I think that it takes lots of hard work and guts to really work together to have such a conference planned, organized, and executed. So thank you so much to all our partners and staff and others who have really contributed to making sure that this conference is able to take place. My name is Francis Boakye, as you heard from Anila, and I work at the Center for Newcomers as well. Last year, we were able to really hold this conference that was focused on justice, to talk about some of the pieces that our young people, particularly from Sub-Saharan Africa, face in this part of the world with regards to their well-being and interactions with different institutions. And I think in that conference, we have several different stakeholders give a perspective on some of the issues. But more importantly, we had our young people talking about their issues and how we could be part of the solution. I'm greatly honored that today I'm giving the opening remarks as well, and to really situate myself in a position that makes me a member of the community that we are working with. Anila mentioned, she talked about really talking about stories, stories about origins and things like that. And I think that conferences for me are a place for stories to be told, a place where we engage with listening ears, and jesters that are keen to active listening, so that we can really have a dialogical process set in place where people can talk about their stories, people can narrate their own stories and be part of the solutions that we want to engender. It was Maya Angelou who said that there is no greater agony than bearing an untold story within us. And I think that these individuals we are working with, all of us, have untold stories, but particularly for young people from sub-Saharan Africa who have faced so many barriers in this country, in the cities that they dwell in. It is important for us to create an avenue where they can really tell their stories and relieve themselves of some of the agony that comes with an untold story. We know that these individuals have their stories being narrated for them by other people. And because of that, solutions, programs, and other things that are geared towards them are not working because their stories are not reflective of their own. They are being narrated to them by other people. And so today, I find that these 3 days will give us a sense of understanding, a sense of meaningfulness, to be able to really look at the issues that these young people are facing, especially in the wake of what has been happening the past couple of months throughout the world, where issues of injustices and oppression are being surfaced, and helping people to realize that indeed there's a problem that needs to be solved. Another philosopher of religion said something like, if we cannot tell our stories of what happened to us, then nothing happened to us. This is by James Cross. And so today we are really here to tell stories that something has happened to us, something has happened to our young people, something is happening to them, and there's need for us to have a consensus as to what to do, to position ourselves deeply rooted in the values we believe, values of justice, values of fairness and equity, and to be able to say that there is a need for our institutions to stand up and work together to support these young people who have come to this country not to fail, but to succeed. The Center for Newcomers Yuen program, through which the first of this conference was set up, is a program that is trying to do that. Yet, we need partners, we need institutions. And I'm very thrilled to see that we have so many diverse people, diverse organizations, government, settlement sectors, non-settlement sectors, all engaged or involved in this conference. And I think that makes it a very powerful avenue for us to share ideas, go back to our respective institutions, and then begin to set up processes that will lead to actions that will in turn result in tangible solutions for our young people at this particular time. We hear stories of these young people every day, and some of those stories are very heartbreaking. But until we come to work together collectively, it will be very difficult for us to do anything tangible to solve these issues. Therefore, to give true meaning to a conference of this nature, it is imperative that we all pay attention. We all bring our thoughts together. We come with open minds. We leave out our potential judgmental ideas or thoughts or positions, and then say that we are here to learn. We are here to provide our solutions. We are here to be transformed through these conversations and to go back to our respective areas, institutions, and then give a support, a helping hand to finding solutions. These issues we are talking about are so interrelated, and they are mutually reinforcing, in the sense that institutions, various institutions that these young individuals interact with, mutually reinforce each other. School, the police, justice, probation, everything else is reinforcing. And so unless we work collectively together, it will be very difficult for us to have any solutions that we need to make greater impact on behalf of not just these young people we are looking at, those who are the future of this nation, but also ourselves, because we all form part of a community. We are building a community for everyone to live in and to thrive. On this note, I'd like to thank again all of you for making the effort to be part of this conference, and we are hoping that in the end, this will be one of the most powerful meaningful, engaging conferences because we came to listen, we came to provide ideas, we came to learn from one another, and more importantly, we came to put together solutions to issues that we are able and capable of solving. Thank you so much, and please enjoy the next 3 days of the conference. Thank you.